it feels like I'm burning the most calories when I'm walking uphill. So, pretty unfair in the last video that I didn't show you the hair when it was dry. So, I just cut my hair in the last video and now it's dry. And as you can see, I think short hair is better and easier to control. Also, I think the shorter fringe, you've got less chance of, with poly, for example, less chance of pulling the hairs out. And secondly, it's easier to just put your hair into the position you want and it'll just sort of stay. The messed up kind of hair from before, when it was really long, obscured everything, so there's no chance of anyone detecting that you're wearing a hairpiece. But I think if you've got an overhang like I've got now, rather than brush back, you should be okay as well. Now let's see what the hairline looks like close up after a couple of days, after using that Max Sport as well. I'm not getting a real feel for it with this little camera. You've got a bigger screen than me undoubtedly, unless you're watching this on a phone. If you do watch my videos on a phone, please let me know in the comments below, because I have no idea how many people are actually looking at this through a phone. I'm always anticipating that everything I make is made for at least a, say, 36-inch monitor. I think something that makes you look older is this line here. I think it's called a nasolabial fold. And of course the bags under your eyes. So just even looking, comparing the left side of my face to the right, if those lines were taken away, it youthens me immediately. That looks sickly and gaunt, and that looks younger. But don't despair about age. It's you've earned it. Like, if I watch an actor in a movie, I'd prefer they're older. If I see some teenager in a movie, I'm instantly like, it's like a P-plater on the road. You know, somebody who's inexperienced. Their issues in life are usually fairly insignificant. Although you feel a lot more when you're a teenager because you're weak. You're not wise yet. But there's something to be said about being innocent. Everything's better. Everything's newer. And you're still looking at leaves on trees. I've never seen this type of plant before, whereas I'm now general, you know, I've seen most plants. Yeah, it's something a bit squigglier than usual, but unless it's hovering in midair, I'm not really going to stop and pay attention to it. So therefore my wisdom prohibits me from being curious to an extent, which slows me down. And it's probably about the effort from this point. The effort to push myself to actively participate in life. Whereas before I just couldn't hold back. I was compelled and had all the energy I needed to do it. That might happen again if I'm fit, I don't know. I find fit people kind of weird, agitated, busy, not somebody you can really trust with your emotions, or not people who would put deep thought into much. Busy people just seem to be scrambling through 100 miles an hour toward the abyss without real purpose. It's hard to respect them. Having said that, for the busy person, it's a much better life than somebody who's complacent and sits around like I do. So I feel I've achieved something by going for a walk today. I'm sweating a bit in my pants, and I think it's a lot to do with the waxing, or the nair that I put all over my body. And from shaving my head today, even though I had a shower afterwards, I touched up a bit more and a few hairs fell off down into the parts where I've got the stubble happening from the nair. So I think I'm sweating more than usual from that, and the hairs have got in and caused itchiness. I think I'm allergic to my own hair. Yeah, so that's what a shorter hairstyle looks like with a hairpiece. So I've just shaved it around, so it's followed the curvature of my skull to there, and from that point onwards, that's where it's long. So it really didn't take much effort. And then from here I just kind of trimmed it down. And I feel like I kind of look healthier. And also it's cooler, especially if I'm going to exercise. You don't really want long hair when you're exercising or walking and stuff, because it's just all sweaty and the hair just falls all over your face and all down your sides and everything. So I would recommend shorter hairstyles. It doesn't matter though. It does matter if you go too short though. I would say you can't get away with a really short hair cut with a hairpiece, because then people start seeing into the gaps and so on. I might have to trim this bit. Still got about an hour until I get to my destination. The reason I'm walking now is because I've actually got somewhere to go. So I'm not aimlessly just exercising. Otherwise I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't feel compelled. But I could have driven to where I'm going now. But instead I know it's going to take an hour and a half to walk there, and I've got to be there in an hour and a half, so I thought I'd burn some calories.